August 23rd, 24th, and 25th, there was a restorative justice fair held for the first time inside of an American prison. History was made. We were there. Friday, August 23rd, program ran on schedule as fog remained at bay. At 8:30 a.m., the fair opened inside of the Facility E gym. 100 chairs formed the foundation for a connecting circle. Our very own Restorative Justice super supporter, Brahmankyrie, gave her opening salvo on her boys' speaker system. Welcome. The overstuffed gym with tight security had a long line of residents, hoping to enter, but had to be turned away due to overcrowding. Inside of the gym and within the connection circle, all were invited to a grounding exercise that involved deep breathing and placing feet flat on the floor. Each inhale bringing up positive energy and love from the planet that sustains us, while exhaling negative energy into the core of the earth. Did you feel it? This is fitting to make way for a district attorney. That's right, a district attorney by the name of Khemal Johnson-Williams walked onto R.J. Donavan in the name of Restorative Justice. Don't step back now, Echo Yard. Before beginning, D.A. Khemal walked around the entire circle, shaking everybody's hand and saying his name. D.A. Khemal joined the circle and passed around questions such as, what can another person do to make you feel valued? Speaking beads and a microphone were passed around so that all could be heard. In a moment, DA Representative Khemal got vulnerable with us and transformed from district attorney to a victim of crime. He shared with us that 4 of his close family members and a best friend, smarter than him, had been tragically murdered. He then sent around the question, how do you honor those that you have lost? For D.A. Khemal to be the voice of restorative justice in San Diego for the DA's office speaks to how pain is on all sides. We are all seeking that thing that dialogue helps bring, healing. At 11 a.m., fair activity shifted to the visiting room where lunch was served. Donated Costco dogs from Rock Church with an option for water, juice, or Pepsi, and chips. Our own Captain Vineyard gave a brief speech as to our programming status at the prison and how he has a list of 800 residents waiting to fill any beds that become open. A representative from San Diego's Public Defender's Office gave a brief speech, and then there was a break in fair activities. At 1 p.m., a remorse processing workshop with Dr. Andrea Travers of Vogue took place in the visiting room. The event made such a strong impact on me because it dealt with remorse, something I have had a hard time dealing with. The manner in which the process was explained was very insightful. I was able to relate to everybody present in one way or another. I am grateful to learn from that experience. This was a quote taken from a remorse processing participant, Aurelio Martin Sepulveda. 6 p.m., live from the stage in the middle of our yard. Eastlake Church generously supplied the stage. Living Amends performances began, allowing some of the performers to speak for themselves. Paul Peterson said, I would just like to say that I was glad to be able to do a couple of original songs that I wrote the lyrics to. I am the lead singer of Solution. I look forward to being able to play again in the name of restorative justice. Melvin Price said, my definition of living amends is not being willing to compromise with any form of criminal behavior due to a changed belief system. Anon John Alexander, my song Chrysalis is about metamorphosis because from prisoner to president, We all have the same 24 hours to be used constructively. While invested into such creative expression, it is also less likely to get sucked into negative politics or tribalism, violence. In sharing our talents with fellow inmates, alongside free staff and visitors, Echo Yard is opening a portal of positive reinforcement, which in turn expedites rehabilitative reintegration back to society. Lastly, we have Carrie Nellums. This was my way of giving back to the community and the victims. Saturday, August 24th, 8 a.m., Booth Day began in a purple flourish of declarations from Party City, purple being the signifying color for domestic violence awareness. 13 canopies were risen in a U formation facing the stage. Under canopies were 26 arts and corrections programs, peer-to-peer groups, Southwestern College, mental health, the Brahman Project, Eastlake Church, and several other service providers. The fair atmosphere really picked up with the booths open and stage lineup in full swing. Early morning chair yoga with Prison Yoga Project, Bill Brown, got us grounded to begin our fair on Saturday morning. This was followed by a native flute song and rattle by Romero and Rose. With relaxing energy well established, Essie Mae Horn stepped to our stage to share with us her loss. We provided a healing ear and were honored for the privilege of being able to hear her story. It is a rare, if unheard of, event for a district attorney to enter a prison to dialogue with its residents. Over the 3-day fair, Facility E received 2. District Attorney Marissa Bejarano on Saturday spoke to us about the effects of sex trafficking on the victims. A moment of silence was held for the victims of shooting throughout the United States. At noon, we broke for a lunch of barbecue chicken and vegan meals supplied by Eastlake Church and the Brahman Project, respectively. The food line, a testament to the power of food, stretched from the chow hall all the way around the Building 24. The booths were staffed by a combination of residents and service providers. The canopies were provided by Eastlake Church, Playwrights, and Southwestern College. Lucky for us, Southwestern College was able to have the ever-dynamic Raquel Funches available to assist, motivate, and interact with Facility E's large college student population. A driving force of restorative justice herself, nobody will ever forget her support and magnanimous effort to instill no violence into our culture on this facility. Thinking about our restorative justice fair, it was an empowering experience to witness. Raquel humbly shared, I am fortunate to have had the opportunity to be included in the residents' rehabilitative effort. Raquel shared her booth with Tanya, another proud advocate for restorative justice, and Patrice, the director of Southwestern College Restorative Justice Program. Another strong voice in the community was the head of Alternative to Violence Program, Chandrika, who kindly postponed the AVP class to allow herself, facilitators, and students to get the most out of the weekend. Fair Day, Booth Day, Saturday, had its biggest impact off stage in the Facility E multi-faith room. In the words of Ryan Greider, we all came together in the spirit of restorative justice and remorse. One by one, residents read their remorse letters to women who had suffered from abuse. Then a purple friendship bracelet was placed on their wrist. This was the most powerful room I have been in during my 17 years of incarceration. An overwhelming feeling of remorse and surrender filled my heart. For offenders and victims of crime to come together to heal, it speaks volumes of the real work it takes to restore justice. I am so grateful that I had the privilege to be a part of this powerful process. After the amazing healing in Facility E Chapel, attention was turned back to the booth and stage, where we listened to the brilliant TEDx organizer, Mariette Boramax, speak about the brilliance inside. We also heard a powerful transformation, recovery, and amends story from John Min. Saturday night, we got to experience professional skateboarder Canton Russell doing tricks on the sidewalk in front of the gym, even ollieing over 3 bodies. We see you, Al. Our night ended with Canton Russell telling his story of when he went through some of the same things that we have. Drugs, gangs, friends dying, going to jail, and coming home from jail. One of his friends was just recently released from Richard J. Donavan. Sunday morning, August 25th, saw canopies rise to cover the yard's church-going population. Much thanks to Eastlake Church for supporting our fair, going to the magnitude that it did. Facility E's 3-day Restorative Justice Fair would not have been possible without their support. Next time you see Ricardo, please give him a big hug. Sunday afternoon brought us the effervescent Dr. Greenwald, and she brought a guest, Ron Self, a former resident of CDCR, volunteering his freedom to come back behind these walls and give us the gift of hope. Associate Warden E. Garza also gave us the gift generously of his time to come in on a Sunday to speak to us. As the fair weekend began with Brahmankyrie, so did it end. A satsang meditation of forgiveness for a jam-packed gymnasium. The canopies came down for the last time. Vegan ice cream was given out by a design frenzy. Ruben Rodillo shared his experience. These 3 days of the fair were the best days of my life. Savaki, one of the heroes from the Brahman Project, rang throughout our heads, replacing the emotion that built our misguided criminal justice system in the first place. Hate, anger, and fear built our current justice system, and what is slowly being replaced with is what Devaki said. Connection and love. This is how we heal. I couldn't have written this article much better than it has been stated, and this was your Restorative Justice Fair, built, set, and carried out with the emotion of love. So be it.